Chapter 51. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When the blue-robed kid mentioned it earlier, Changqing didn't totally buy it. It wasn't impossible, they were just making stuff up to shake them down for the lapis lazuli, but now, he wasn't lying. Elder Bien, the blue-robed kid and his crew bowed to Elder Bien floating in the air. Elder Bien nodded, eyes laser-focused on Changqing and her group. A crushing pressure dropped on them, making it hard to breathe. Senior, I'm Yuan Fei, from Qinghuan Palace, a king-tier sect in the South China Sea. Could you please let us go for the sake of Qinghuan Palace? We're willing to hand over all the lapis lazuli we've mined. Yuan Fei stammered. At this point, dropping the Qinghuan Palace name was his only play to scare this king. Qinghuan Palace was no ordinary king-level force. Their leader was on the verge of becoming a heavenly king. Once that happened, Qinghuan Palace would rocket into the top 5 or 4 in the Wanyao South Sea. Qinghuan Palace, Elder Bien scoffed. Never heard of it. He belonged to Inzhou sect, way up in the North Sea, miles from the South Sea. Besides, Inzhou sect, while not emperor level, was still a major player in the North Sea, and their sect leader was a powerhouse in the heavenly king perfection realm. He figured this Qinghuan Palace couldn't be that strong if he'd never heard of it. He knew which forces across the 4 seas you just didn't mess with. And Qinghuan Palace wasn't on the list. Realizing Yuan Fei and the others weren't backed by untouchable forces, Elder Bien felt a lot better. He was about to wipe them out when he froze. That outfit. Elder Bien's eyes snagged on Changqing next to Yuan Fei. Something about her made him pause. He didn't know Changqing, but her robes seemed familiar. Where had he seen them before? Then it hit him, his eyes going wide. It was in front of that ancient palace. Elder Bien remembered where he'd seen those robes, the people standing next to that incredible young guy in front of the ancient palace. They were wearing the same sect uniform as this woman. Turns out, this Elder Bien from Inzhou sect had been one of the Xianwang realm fighters who'd survived the beast tide back then. Remembering Changqing slicing through palace guards like butter, Elder Bien shivered. Those people had called the young guy their supreme elder. Clearly, they were from the same sect, which meant this woman. Elder Bien felt a chill run down his spine. Thank God he hadn't done anything stupid, or he'd be in deep trouble. His Inzhou sect was powerful, but a god-king level force could squash them like a bug, and besides, that guy wasn't just any god-king, he was probably an emperor. Elder Bien took a deep breath, waved a hand, grabbed his 4 Inzhou sect disciples, and vanished in a flash of light. Yuan Fei, Changqing, and the others breathed a collective sigh of relief. They'd thought they were goners for sure. Looks like the name Qinghuan Palace still carries weight. I was terrified. Good thing Senior Brother Wen dropped the sect's name just in time. Those blue-robed monks were so cocky before, huh? Serves them right. They tucked their tails between their legs when they heard Senior Brother Wen was the holy son of Qinghuan Palace. The Qinghuan Palace disciples behind Yuan Fei were puffed up with pride in their minds. Elder Bien and his crew had bolted after Senior Brother Wen name-dropped Qinghuan Palace. They kept glancing at the Qingqing Pavilion people, as if to say, see? This is the power of Qinghuan Palace. Changqing used to act like she didn't want to team up with Senior Brother Wen. But today, if Senior Brother Wen and I weren't here, I'm afraid that the group of people would be killed without mercy. Let's go. Not safe to stay here. Yuan Fei beamed. This scene had definitely made Changqing see him differently. This was the value of the Qinghuan Palace holy son. Holy sons and holy daughters were a dime a dozen, but the Qinghuan Palace saint son, and Changqing, the saint daughter of Qingqing Pavilion, were not the same. Changqing frowned, not paying much attention to Yuan Fei's words. Had those people really been intimidated by Qinghuan Palace? Changqing had seen it clearly. When Yuan Fei had said he was from Qinghuan Palace, Elder Bien had looked doubtful, even mocking. So why the sudden change of heart? Even if he was slow on the uptake, that was too slow. But unless the guy had been scared off by Qinghuan Palace, there was no explanation. With a nagging doubt in her mind, Changqing and her group left the remaining lapis lazuli behind and followed Yuan Fei and the other Qinghuan Palace disciples. Meanwhile, the 4 blue-robed monks and Injo sect disciples, abruptly yanked away by Elder Bien, were completely bewildered. What just happened? Why did the elder just leave like that? What was Qinghuan Palace, anyway? Could it really scare Elder Bien that badly? Yuan Fei and his crew weren't the only ones thinking that. Even the 4 Injo sect monks were wondering the same thing. Elder. The blue-robed kid couldn't hold back his curiosity. Before he could finish, Elder Bien cut him off. I know what you're wondering. I ran into an ancient palace. I almost died there. Elder Bien then launched into a story about his experiences at the ancient palace. The more he talked, the more the others freaked out. Beast tied, palace guards, an incredible young man, probably an emperor, they were stunned. But what does any of this have to do with letting those people go? Elder Bien had said a lot, but nothing seemed to connect to what had just happened. Chapter 52. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Elder Bien shot him a glance, saying casually, those guys trailing that mysterious young dude, their outfits are the same style as that woman from earlier. That news hit everyone like a ton of bricks. Suddenly, it all clicked. So that's the deal. Qinghuan Palace ain't nothin'. Turns out, the elders weren't just wary, they were flat out scared of the woman hanging around the Qinghuan Palace saint. The thought sent shivers down their spines. Good thing the elders didn't make a move, otherwise, the whole Injo sect could have been toast. About a half-hour later, when Yufei, Gu Qing'er, and their crew had cleared the lapis lazuli mine and found themselves on the open plains, out of nowhere, a monster roared in the distance. Everyone's heart skipped a beat. Half-king monster. Duck! Gu Qing'er shouted, scrambling behind a boulder. Yuan Fei and the others were right behind her. Monsters don't give a hoot if you're the Qinghuan Palace's golden boy, even an emperor's disciple is just lunch meat to them. Wait, is someone chasing that thing? As the monster closed in, they spotted 2 tiny black dots gaining on it. Huh? Kids. Gu Qing'er, Yuan Fei, and the crew were dumbfounded to see 2 kids chasing the half-king monster. Little dude and a little girl, looked like they were maybe 4 or 5 years old. Yep, it was Gu Qingchen and Gu Yunxi. See, after splitting from Yanmengqi and the Lanhua Palace crew, Gu Qingchen had followed the bloodline vibe straight to his family, who just happened to be his sister, Gu Yunxi. Gu Qingchen wasted no time flashing a pile of those 4th-level red-silver stones he'd scored. Gu Yunxi was floored. She'd been racking up treasures since entering the secret realm, but put them all together, and they wouldn't hold a candle to Qingchen's red-silver stash. Not even close. Kinda threw her off balance. Her little bro snagged a get-out-of-jail-free card, but she was still empty-handed. Guess you can't rush destiny. So, since opportunity treasures were playing hard to get, Gu Yunxi went into monster hunting overdrive. And she only had eyes for the half-king brutes. No luck with the treasures. Fine, she'd loot the secret realm's monsters instead. And that's how you get 2 tiny terrors hounding a half-king monster. Well, hounding is putting it mildly. The monster was terrified of Gu Yunxi, Gu Qingchen. Without Yunxi around, the monster would have swatted him like a fly. The half-king monster was fast, but Gu Yunxi was faster. Spotting her chance, Gu Yunxi slashed. Whoosh! The sword beam tore across the sky and dropped the monster dead in its tracks. Yeah. Sis, you rock, Gu Qingchen cheered. This monster was way out of his league, so he was stuck on the sidelines. Yuan Fei and the others watched, their brains short-circuiting. This was a major gut punch, facing a half-king monster. Heck, even a 4th or 5th level Calamity Realm monster had them running for cover, but these 2 tots were slaughtering a half-king monster like it was a chicken. What in the world was going on? How was anyone supposed to compete with that? After efficiently stuffing the monster's corpse into her storage ring, Gu Yunxi glanced at Gu Qing'er and company hiding behind the rock. With her senses, she knew they were only at the 1st level of the Calamity Realm. No chance of sneaking past her. Is that girl, from the Gu family? Gu Yunxi was sure that Gu Qing'er shared her blood, but she'd never seen her before. The Gu family in Jianglin City wasn't exactly huge. She knew everyone, but Gu Yunxi was sure she'd never met this Gu Qing'er before. Plus, Gu Changqing only ever mentioned the Gu family of Wangqin Island overseas to her dad, so Gu Yunxi had no idea Jiang Linqing wasn't the only Gu family in town. Weird. Gu Qing'er didn't suspect a thing because Gu Yunxi and Gu Qingchen were suppressing their bloodline aura, the two were just hoping they wouldn't run into family. Their parents would skin them alive if they found out they were messing around in the Xianhuang's secret realm. When she caught the super strong little girl staring at her, Gu Qing'er instinctively backed up, boom, star, out of nowhere, a surge of spiritual power erupted nearby. Gu Yunxi, her brother, Gu Qing'er, and the others turned west, where the power was surging. A treasure's been born. Gu Yunxi lit up, her bros already got his get-out-of-jail-free card, and she was still running dry. What if her parents got wind of her and her bros sneaking off to the Xianhuang's secret realm? They'd never let her live it down. She still needed that get-out-of-jail-free card. Isn't this it? Without hesitating, Gu Yunxi and Gu Qingchen sprinted toward the source of the power surge. Those two little monsters must have some serious backing. Yuan Fei was thinking about the Divine Court Imperial Palace. They were the only power that could breed a monster like this, right? Let's go scope it out. Everyone wanted a shot at the treasure, so they raced after Gu Yunxi and Gu Qingchen. When Gu Yunxi and her sister showed up, a crowd had already gathered. Is that an underground palace? Yep, the spiritual power was pouring out of the palace. Gu Yunxi and her sister caused quite the stir. It's those two little monsters. Gu Yunxi and Gu Qingchen had made a name for themselves in this area. One called himself the King of Dust, the other the Emperor of Shi. They were just 4 or 5 years old, but they were as strong as a half-king in the Calamity Realm. Especially the girl, she could kill a half-king monster without breaking a sweat. They'd never seen anything like it. A 4-year-old packing the punch of a half-king. It was unreal. Monsters and cultivators alike were on edge. If they found a treasure, and those two kids got wind of it, forget it, the treasure was theirs. Everyone gave the brother-sister duo a wide berth, scared of getting marked as targets. Not far from the underground palace, Gu Changqing sensed the surge of spiritual power. After cutting loose from the ninth elder and the others, Gu Changqing was on his own. He didn't need anyone weighing him down, he was stronger solo. Changqing. Bro? As Gu Changqing got close to the underground palace, he heard a familiar voice calling him. He turned to see, Gu Qing'er. Qing'er. Talk about a coincidence, this Xianhuang secret realm was huge. He'd been here for days, and the third elder was the only familiar face he'd seen. Next to Gu Qing'er were a few disciples from the Dust Heart Pavilion, and disciples from Qinghuan Palace. Bro Changqing, it's really you. Gu Qing'er recognized Gu Changqing's figure and called out in hope, and it was him. She raced toward him, excited. The disciples from Qingxin Pavilion and Yuan Fei were shocked. They'd always thought of Gu Qing'er as an ice queen, but now, she was as meek as a kitten as Gu Changqing tousled her hair. Maybe this wasn't the same saint lady they knew. Yuan Fei's face was a mask of rage. So, Gu Qing'er wasn't cold, she wasn't stuck up, wasn't an ice queen. She just acted that way around them. Gu Qing'er was a different person around this young guy. This place belongs to me and my sister, so beat it. Before Gu Changqing and Gu Qing'er could catch up, a young voice rang out. It was a little kid's voice, but that wasn't the point. Why did it sound so familiar? Gu Changqing turned to see. Wait a minute. Even a strong guy like Gu Changqing was caught off guard. What was he seeing? Who was he seeing? It was Gu Qingchen. Gu Changqing's face darkened. Anger welled in his chest. Not far off, Gu Yunxi was watching her brother threaten the cultivators, and she sensed something. Her gaze snapped toward Gu Changqing, her heart nearly stopped. Chapter 53. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Shaochen. Gu Yunxi's voice trembled as she patted her brother. Gu Qingchen, who was busy telling those cultivators to shove off, noticed something was up with his sister. He glanced back and saw her staring at something, looking terrified. That got his attention. What could possibly scare her like that? They both had those life-saving jade talismans their dad gave them. Honestly, there wasn't much in this whole Xianhuang secret realm that could even touch them. let alone threaten them, so what was she so freaked out about? Following her gaze, Gu Qingchen looked in the same direction. His head just about exploded, his expression was even more over the top than his sister's, he looked like he'd seen a ghost. When he saw Changqing, Gu Qingchen finally got why his sister was acting that way. Gu Yunxi grabbed her brother and hauled him towards Gu Changqing. People scrambled out of their way. Unless you were in the king realm, you didn't want to mess with those two little hellions, and even if you were in the king realm, you'd think twice, they were so strong for their age. They had to have some serious backing. What's up? Who's getting targeted by those two again? A bunch of people noticed the kids, who looked pretty awful right now, marching towards Gu Changqing. That kid's in trouble. He must have crossed them somehow. Someone said, looking at Gu Changqing with a hint of pity, why pick a fight with those two? Yuanfei and the other Qingyuan Palace disciples, along with a few from Qinxin Pavilion, started sweating bullets when they saw Gu Yunxi and Gu Qingchen heading their way, faces like thunder. They knew how strong those kids were, especially the little girl. As the siblings got closer, everyone figured they were about to jump Gu Changqing and the others. Then Gu Qingchen dropped to his knees in front of Gu Changqing, grabbed his legs, and started bawling. Gu Yunxi wasn't much better. She twisted the hem of her dress, looking like she'd done something wrong, head down, not daring to meet Gu Changqing's eyes. Daddy! Daddy! Those two words just fried everyone's brains, especially the ones who'd been feeling sorry for Gu Changqing. Even Gu Qing'er, Yuanfei, and the rest couldn't believe it. Dad! Dad, what the heck was going on? Gu Changqing was their dad. Yuanfei, Gu Qing'er, and the others had seen those kids in action. They took down a half-king level monster in one shot. And the kids looked, 4 or 5 years old. Everyone had just assumed they were royalty, maybe even descendants of the divine emperor, but they were Gu Changqing's kids. Gu Changqing ignored the stunned crowd and asked, his voice dangerously quiet, whose idea was this? Her. Him. The two pointed at each other. Gu Yunxi glared at Gu Qingchen. You're the one who wanted to come. I just followed because I was worried about him. You lied to Daddy, you wanna fight? Gu Yunxi raised a fist, looking ready to rumble. I. Gu Qingchen stammered, but couldn't come up with a decent excuse, especially in front of their dad. Gu Changqing knew who was lying right away. Seeing Gu Changqing looking at him, the little guy's eyes darted around, and he pulled a storage ring out of his pocket and handed it over. Daddy, look, I found something cool. Please don't be mad. I was bored at home and wanted to play. Gu Qingchen looked miserable. Gu Changqing glared at him, then probed the ring. It was full of herbs and fruit, plus a bunch of red silver ore. Red silver ore. The tier 4 stuff you could use to make a king-level weapon. Exactly what Gu Changqing needed right now. He'd been wandering around this secret realm forever and hadn't found a single piece, but his son had stumbled on a whole stash. Enough to make 3 king-level weapons. Now all he needed was to find a tier 4 weaponsmith, an immortal sword formation made of tier 4 king weapons. He couldn't wait. The anger inside him faded fast. How did you find this? Seeing his dad's face soften, Gu Qingchen sighed in relief. He wasn't going to get grounded after all. He spilled the whole story about what happened after they got into the secret realm. Silver-armored stone figurines. Interesting. Okay, you're off the hook this time. But don't do it again. Okay. Gu Qingchen and Gu Yunxi nodded like crazy. Just as Gu Changqing was about to take the kids and Gu Qing'er into the underground palace, a beam of light flew over and stopped above the palace. King Realm Powerhouse. Everyone's eyes snapped up. It's him. Gu Qing'er, Yuanfei, and the others behind Gu Changqing recognized the king-level expert right away. Wasn't he the guy they'd met at the lapis lazuli mine? Elder Bien, wasn't it? Yuanfei was still a little shaken, remembering how the Qingyuan Palace name was the only thing that scared him away. This Inwu sect Elder Bien wasn't hiding his presence at all. He looked around, then zeroed in on Gu Qing'er and her group. he knew them, the younger generation he'd let go before. But right now, he wasn't interested in them. He was looking at the young man in white standing in front. Changqing didn't know him, but Elder Bien recognized him. That young man in white had made a lasting impression. Senior, we meet again. Chapter 54. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Senior. The surrounding cultivators exchanged surprised glances. Seeing Elder Bien bow to Changqing sent a ripple of shock through the crowd. Just being a senior implied Changqing was stronger, but the level of respect from a powerful king-level expert like Elder Bien suggested something far greater. Could he be a heavenly king? Some whispered, figuring only a heavenly king could command such deference from a Xian king. Elder Bien scoffed inwardly, a heavenly king? That wouldn't be enough to warrant this kind of respect. This is an emperor. The Inji sect disciple beside Elder Bien was stunned, dressed in white, handsome. Was this the supreme being Elder Bien had spoken of, the one suspected of being an emperor? He's so young. Yuan Fei and the others from Qingluan Palace were equally shocked. Yuan Fei glanced at Changqing, then at Qing'er's sect robes. A realization hit him. The truth washed over him, and he wanted to disappear. He'd always believed Elder Bien was scared off by Qingluan Palace's name-dropping at the lapis lazuli mine, but now, he understood, Elder Bien wasn't scared off by Qingluan Palace at all, it was Qing'er. Elder Bien knew Qing'er. Or rather, he recognized the Changqing pavilion robes she wore. Yuan Fei felt a wave of shame. How embarrassing. He remembered boasting about scaring off Elder Bien with Qingluan Palace's reputation, but Elder Bien wasn't afraid of Qingluan Palace, he was afraid of Changqing pavilion. He'd been so proud, thinking Qing'er and the others were lucky to be with him, avoiding certain death at Elder Bien's hands. Now, the truth was the opposite. If he hadn't been with Qing'er, Elder Bien would have killed them without a second thought. Hey, dude, are you from the North Sea? What's the deal with this Inji sect, up there? Yuan Fei asked a young cultivator in the Tribulation realm nearby. He'd recognized Elder Bien earlier. The young man glanced at Yuan Fei dismissively. Inji sect is an old-school heavenly king-level sect in the Wanyao North Sea. They've got a heavenly king perfect ancestor at the top. Heavenly king perfect. Yuan Fei's doubts vanished. Would a super sect with a heavenly king perfect at the helm be intimidated by a small South Sea sect like Qingluan Palace? Changqing nodded to Elder Bien, then led the two kids, Qing'er, and the other Changqing pavilion disciples into the underground palace. He paid close attention as they entered. There was a number on the gate, .61. What did it signify? Forget it, he'd figure it out later. Inside, Changqing's spiritual sense probed for danger, but they reached the bottom of the palace without incident, which surprised him. The palace was vast, easily accommodating thousands. Light streamed through cracks in the stone, illuminating the space. In the center stood a pure white stone tablet. What's this? Changqing's knowledge of the Xianhuang secret realm was limited. Is that the heavenly demon tablet? Qing'er spoke, her voice filled with surprise. Heavenly demon tablet? I don't know much about it, just that it's one of the biggest opportunities in the Xianhuang secret realm. But it's not for everyone. Qing'er, being from the 10,000 demon sea, knew more than Changqing. And it doesn't appear every time the secret realm opens. We're seriously lucky. There are 100 of these tablets scattered throughout the secret realm. The number 61 on the door must be the tablet's location. We just close our eyes and probe the tablet with our consciousness to enter the heavenly demon illusion. There, we'll face demons from other realms. The difficulty scales with the entrance level, so the higher your realm, the tougher the demons. The more demons you kill and the more levels you clear, the higher your score. The best score wins the richest reward. So, it's not about your realm. The higher your realm, the stronger the demons you'll face. In other words, it's all about your inherent strength and talent. Changqing raised an eyebrow. This was interesting, even someone in the true spirit tribulation realm could top the leaderboard, while half-kings and kings might not even place. It wasn't friendly to cultivators who relied on pills to boost their realm, but for true geniuses, this was the perfect stage to shine. Right, brother Changqing, look, there are words on the tablet. Changqing looked and saw words glowing on the stone. First place, Su Li, score 5, East China Sea. Second place, Chen Yueshao, score 5, East China Sea. Third place, Chu Changfeng, score 4, North China Sea. Fourth place, Chu Mu, score 4, West China Sea. Fifth place. The list had 100 names, all filled. The score indicated the number of levels cleared. The East Sea dominated, claiming nearly 30% of the spots. It was no wonder it was known as the strongest of the 4 outer seas. Next came the North and West Seas. Finally, there was the South Sea. Only a handful of South Sea cultivators made the list, not even as many as the empires bordering it. The Han Qin Empire was doing poorly. Actually, it was doing terribly. Changqing didn't see a single name from the empire. Of course, this was just the beginning. As more cultivators entered, the names would likely change. The current leaders might not stay on top for long. Looks like others got a head start. Changqing wasn't worried. He knew everyone only had one shot at the trial, so there was no point in rushing. Your ranking wouldn't change based on when you participated. He noticed a text next to the tablet, detailing the rewards. The top-ranked cultivator would receive a drop of Xianshui spiritual liquid. Second place got Jinsha. Third, Gonlin Dan. Changqing focused on first place and the Xianshui spiritual liquid, a 5th-level spiritual object. One of the most precious among them, a single drop could boost a Xian king's realm by at least 1 level. It was even more valuable for those at the peak of the Xian king realm. This water could greatly increase their chances of reaching the heavenly king realm. I want that. While the second place Jinsha wasn't as good, it was still valuable, a material for forging 5th-level imperial weapons. Xier, this Jinsha is up to you. Changqing wanted both the Xianshui Lingya and the Jinsha. Aside from himself, Yunxi had the best shot at the top 3. No, it wasn't just hope. Changqing didn't think anyone could compete with her for second place, not even the woman in green he'd seen at the entrance. She might be a genius on the spirit list, but Yunxi's talent, let alone Qingqin's, might be higher. Chapter 55. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As more cultivators participated in the Xianhuang Secret Realm trial, the Heavenly Demon Monument rankings began to solidify. The top 10, especially, remained unchanged for a while. 1st, Yu Qingfeng, 37 points, East C.2 and Shengwanli, 36 points, East C.3 RD, Li Xuanzhen, 36 points, North C.4 TH, Shuqing, 35 points, West C.5 TH, Bai Shuanger, 35 points, West C.6 TH, Chu Jing, 35 points, East C.7 TH, Meng Han Song, 34 points, North C.8 TH, Hualing, 34 points, East C.9 TH, Leng. Qianqing, 34 points, North C.10 TH, Huamingyue, 33 points, West C. That's the top 10, 4 of them hail from the dominant East Sea, including the top 2, the North and West Seas each boast 3 representatives, and the South Sea. Nada, even in the top 100, only Zhenwu Sec's Saint's son, from the South Sea's premier sect, scraped by. He ranked 91st, practically dead last. Qing'er, standing next to Changqing, couldn't help but feel bummed. She knew the South Sea lagged behind the others, but this was ridiculous. It was even worse than some of the empires bordering the South Sea. Those empires, while not up to par with the East, North, and West, at least had a few making the cut. The South Sea, however, just one. Of course, there was another region in almost the same boat, Changqing's Han Qin Empire. It also had only one person on the list, ranking 93rd. Jiang Baiwei. Figures. Changqing scoffed, spotting Jiang Baiwei at 93rd. He didn't exactly like her, but she had talent, especially after awakening her spirit body. She should be able to qualify for the list. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the Xianhuang Secret Realm, underneath underground palace number 37, things were heating up. Jiang Baiwei looked none too pleased. Facing her was a young hotshot from the Zhangyan Empire. Tong Xinghe, the seven-star sect saint's son, from the Zhangyan Empire's top sect. The Zhangyan Empire shared a border with the Han Empire, and the two were constantly at each other's throats. They had a long history of bad blood as one of the Han Empire's top families. The Jiang family also had beef with the seven-star sect. Tong Xinghe currently held a spot on the demon monument at 87th. Several rungs above Jiang Baiwei plus, two more people from the Zhangyan Empire held positions on the list, at 94th and 99th. Seeing Jiang Baiwei was the Han Empire's sole representative, Tong Xinghe began to lay it on thick, the Han Empire's up-and-comer. That's it. The whole Han Empire's a bunch of has-beens. Only one person on the list. Pathetic. Tong Xinghe's words weren't just aimed at Jiang Baiwei, but at everyone from the Han Empire present, and quite a few were hanging around underground palace #37, hearing that. Many Han Empire cultivators shot daggers at Tong Xinghe, but no one dared to throw the first punch. A King Realm expert from the seven-star sect stood guard next to Tong Xinghe. Likewise, a Jiang family elder in the King Realm protected Jiang Baiwei. Neither side wanted to start a brawl, especially in the underground palace. Things could quickly spiral out of control since fighting was off the table. Words would have to do. Unfortunately, the Han Empire folks had no comeback. After all, he outranked Jiang Baiwei, their top young talent, and with Tong Xinghe and two others making the list, that made 3, compared to the Han Empire's single entry, and with her ranking lower, well, the Han Empire cultivators couldn't muster the confidence to argue back. Just then, an intriguing woman entered. Underground Palace #37, clad in a simple green dress, her plain clothes couldn't mask her air. Her arrival instantly grabbed the attention of the crowd, particularly the men. In Jiang Baiwei's estimation, this woman was almost as beautiful as her fairy-like sister. If Gu Changqing were here, he'd have recognized her as the green-robed woman he saw at the entrance to the Xianhuang secret realm. Su Ziyu, the green-robed woman, ignored the stares. She moved gracefully towards the heavenly demon monument in the center of the palace. Su Ziyu glanced at the rankings, then, slowly closing her eyes, she began to probe it with her spiritual sense. It was clear to everyone, she was about to start the trial. Many people grew interested. This green-clad beauty might turn heads, but how tough was she? Could she make the list? Everyone waited with bated breath. Chapter 56. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After a bit, Su Ziyu finally opened her eyes. Stepping out of the trial, everyone immediately turned to the demon monument, eager to see if the rankings had shifted. A beat, 2 beats, 3, just when they were starting to think the fairy-like woman wouldn't even make the list, every name slid down a spot, even Yu Qingfeng, who'd been holding on to first place. And then, slowly, Su Ziyu appeared at the very top. First place, Su Ziyu, score, 49, Lingxiao Holy Academy. A score of 49. Down in underground palace number 37, everyone stared at the demon monument in disbelief. 49 levels. That meant Su Ziyu had conquered a staggering 49 levels of the demon trial. Anyone who'd been through it knew the difficulty ramped up like crazy as you went deeper. Even a top-tier prodigy like Yu Qingfeng from Donghai only made it to the 37th floor. Nobody had even sniffed the 40th floor before. Most figured nobody would get that far before the secret realm closed, but now, all eyes were on Su Ziyu, filled with awe. This woman wasn't just drop-dead gorgeous, she was unbelievably powerful. Lingxiao Holy Academy. I've heard of them, one of the 4 top academies in the spirit realm. So, she's a genius from there. That explains it. Even though this area was on the outskirts of the spirit realm, pretty far from the action, some had heard the name Lingxiao Holy Academy. One of the top 4 academies, most hadn't heard of it, but just knowing it was a spirit realm powerhouse was enough to make them understand what kind of school Lingxiao Holy Academy really was. Is Su Ziyu one of the spirit list monsters? Definitely. No way someone like that could be nurtured in the Wanyao Sea. How would a spiritless genius even end up in the Wanyao Sea? It was confusing, plain and simple. The spiritless geniuses were almost all from the big leagues, the overlord-level sects in the heart of the spirit realm, and they usually stuck around that area. How'd one wander out here? The Wanyao Sea and the empires around it were way out in the boonies, the southernmost tip of the spirit realm. It just didn't make sense for a spirit list talent to show up. After all, the monsters on the spirit list had big-time backing. This was just an emperor's secret realm. Even if Emperor Xian was special, he shouldn't be able to attract a spiritless genius, right? Beyond the shock, there was just a ton of confusion, but Su Ziyu ignored the stares and the whispers, glanced at her score, and nodded. 49 was a solid result. The demon at level 50 was Xianwang level, and she just couldn't match him, going down in 3 moves flat. Everyone breathed a collective sigh of relief. If she was a spiritless genius, it made things feel a little more even. Those spirit list types were absolute freaks from the heart of the spirit realm. So, it'd only make sense for them to dominate when they came out to the sticks. That while everyone was still reeling from Su Ziyu's performance, the demon monument flashed again. Every name shifted down again. What? No way. If it was just Yu Qingfeng sliding into second place, they wouldn't have been so stunned, but this time, everyone moved down, including Su Ziyu. That's what really blew their minds. Someone had cleared a higher level than Su Ziyu. They just assumed Su Ziyu's record was untouchable, not even close to being broken before the secret realm shut down, and it had only been a few minutes. Even Su Ziyu was floored. She'd faced level 50 and knew just how brutal it was. She hadn't lasted more than 3 moves. So, who could have cleared it? Who was it? All eyes were glued to the name that was slowly forming at the top. First place, Jiang Lianxin, score, 71, Han Qin Empire. 71. This person cleared level 71. Someone shouted, disbelief cracking their voice. Not 51, not 61, but 71. 20 levels higher than Su Ziyu, who was already suspected to be a spirit list powerhouse. Su Ziyu's eyes narrowed. 71. How was that even possible? Even as a spirit list genius, she was stunned. Nobody knew better than her how impossible it became after level 49. But there was someone else who was beyond stunned, almost numb. This time, it was Jiang Baiwei. At first, she thought she was seeing things, so she blinked, then looked again, but she wasn't wrong. The name Jiang Lianxin was indeed sitting at the top of the demon monument. Same name. The thought popped into her head, but she rejected it almost instantly. If this Jiang Lianxin was from somewhere else, Jiang Baiwei might have bought the coincidence. It was a big world, after all. Plenty of people could share a name, but this Jiang Lianxin, like her, was from the Han Qin Empire. Could that be another coincidence? Too many coincidences, but, wasn't her sister supposed to be useless now? With her spirit bones destroyed, shouldn't she be stuck in the Gu family in Jianglin City, married off to their young master? Could her destroyed spirit bones have been restored? But even if they had, her sister's talent had never been better than hers. How could she possibly conquer the 71st level of the demon trial? That was something even Su Ziyu, a spirit list talent, couldn't pull off. I just hope it's a coincidence. Deep down, Jiang Baiwei clung to that sliver of hope. If this Jiang Lianxin really was her sister, the blow would be devastating. Han Qin Empire. Tong Xinghe from the 7 Stars sect of the Zhangyan Empire was focused on something else entirely. He noticed the words that followed the score. Han Qin Empire. Han Qin Empire. Chapter 57. You are listening at novelfull.audio. My Han Qin Empire is just trash. Then what's your Zhangyan Empire? Super trash. Worse than trash. The Han Qin Empire cultivators hadn't forgotten how Tong Xinghe had relentlessly mocked them. Now Jiang Lianxin was at the top of the heavenly demon monument, a huge win for the Han Qin Empire's reputation. The Han Qin Empire cultivators, who had been holding back their anger, seized the chance to fire back. The Zhangyan Empire cultivators were furious, finding themselves in the same position the Han Qin Empire had been in, wanting to argue but unable to find any grounds to do so. The Han Qin Empire had not only surpassed the Yun Empire, but everyone else too, even the East China Sea, considered the strongest of the four seas. Jiang Lianxin's name at the very top caused a major buzz, not just in the 31st Underground Palace, but throughout the entire Xianhuang secret realm after Su Ziyu, another person not from the 10,000 Demon Sea region, had climbed the Heavenly Demon Monument, and she was number one. And she was, from the Han Qin Empire. Not even from the four seas. This was a massive deal for the people of the Han Qin Empire. They never imagined anyone from their empire could crack the top 10. The top 10 spots were almost always filled by cultivators from the 10,000 Demon Sea. It was incredibly hard for geniuses from the other empires to even squeeze into the top 10, let alone the top 50, first place. Forget about it, but Jiang Lianxin had done the impossible. Jiang Lianxin? Isn't she that Jiang family genius who was tossed aside? I remember. Before Jiang Baiwei, Jiang Lianxin was the Han Qin Empire's top prodigy. Then the Kanglan Holy Land crippled her spirit bones, which was a huge shame, and she was gradually forgotten. Didn't the Jiang family dump her and marry her off to some small-town family's young master? Now she's back with a vengeance. Did she fix her spirit bones? A few years wasn't a short time. Many Han Qin Empire cultivators still remembered Jiang Lianxin, the former super genius, but nobody expected her to not only return but to do so in such a spectacular way. Number 1 on the Heavenly Demon Monument. Outshining countless geniuses and powerhouses from the four seas and other empires to claim the top spot. Underground Palace number 61, Gu Qing'er and the others were equally stunned seeing Jiang Lianxin dominate the four seas and the other empires to rank first. That girl is seriously strong. To beat all those hotshots from the four seas and hit the 71st floor. That's a record that'll be hard to break. Just as she was about to say no one could beat it, Gu Qing'er suddenly remembered Gu Changqing and his two kids. Maybe not. Gu Changqing was on another level, and his kids were total monsters too. Daddy, it's Mom. Mom is number 1. Awesome. That the two little tykes were jumping up and down with excitement, but their words really threw Gu Qing'er and the others, plus the people from Qinghuan Palace and Yingjiu Gate who'd arrived later, for a loop. Mom. The woman who crushed everyone and topped the leaderboard was the mother of these two kids. Gu Changqing's wife. Everyone's gaze shifted. Seriously, the whole family was a bunch of freaks, right? Each one more off the charts than the last. Let's get started, too. Gu Changqing smiled, speaking slowly, then, he closed his eyes, *Xiner. I'm sorry, your time at the top won't last long, star. Sis, I'm gonna be in the top 3, betcha. Before starting the trial, Gu Qingchen winked at Gu Yunxi, brimming with confidence. No way. For him to crack the top 3, Gu Qingchen would have to outdo his dad, himself, and his mom. His talent wasn't bad, but it depended on who he was being compared to. Against his dad, mom, and herself, well, let's just say he was the baby brother. Humph. You underestimate me. You'll see. Gu Qingchen was a little miffed. Next, this family is going to take the top 4 spots. Gu Qing'er took a deep breath, but she was secretly looking forward to it. This family was about to unleash some serious shockwaves on the people of the four seas and other empires. When Gu Changqing opened his eyes, he was no longer in the underground palace, but in a chaotic world. Standing not far from him was a person of very strange appearance, or rather, it wasn't even human, with scarlet skin, about 5 meters tall. It looked a bit like the aliens in the movies from Gu Changqing's past life. Is this a demon? Everyone in the Tianxian continent knew about outer demons. They had once invaded and ruled the Tianxian continent for hundreds of epochs. Outer demons were incredibly powerful. Human cultivators of the same level were no match for them. Only a few exceptionally talented humans stood a chance. The outer demon in front of him was clearly just a projection. While not as strong as a real demon, it was still formidable. A demon projection that's reached the peak of the mid-stage Changqing realm. No wonder so many participants in the trial couldn't even get past the first level. How could an ordinary cultivator beat an outer demon, even if it was just a projection? Buzz, point one sword strike, and the demon fell. The demon projection, a peak mid-stage Changqing, was utterly crushed by the human who was also a peak mid-stage Changqing. Against Changqing, it couldn't even withstand a single blow. The second level also featured peak mid-stage Changqing demon projections, but there were now two of them. But for Changqing, it made no difference. He passed the second level, then the third, the fourth. Changqing lost track of how many levels he cleared. The level of the demon projections had increased from peak mid-stage Changqing, the same as Changqing's initial level, to Heavenly King. But even the Heavenly King demons were nothing more than sword fodder to Changqing. After a while, after he dispatched 6 peak Heavenly King demons with single sword strikes, no more demons appeared in the chaos. Is it over? Changqing had wondered if a God King level demon would show up, but it ended just like that. Slightly disappointed, he was about to leave the trial space when an illusory figure materialized before him. It was a woman. She wore a phoenix crown, exuded noble grace, and possessed a beauty that rivaled Changqing's wife, Jiang Lianqin. This was the first time Changqing had seen a woman as beautiful as Jiang Lianqin. Who was this woman? Changqing couldn't sense any life force within her. After appearing, the stunning woman looked at Changqing with a hint of shock. You actually broke through the heavenly demon monument? Who are you? My name is Lan Qingxian. Out in the world, people know me as Xian Huang. Xian Huang. Are you the master of this secret realm, Xian Huang? Changqing looked at her, surprised. The master of this secret realm, Xian Huang. The legendary emperor of the 10,000 demons sea from 1,000 years ago? Emperor Xian shook her head. I am Emperor Xian, but I'm not the master of this secret realm. The master is the heavenly demon. Her eyes grew cold. I was sealed here by the master, a heavenly demon emperor. What about him? He's dead. I killed him in this secret realm. But to do it, I paid a terrible price. Xiantian Palace was destroyed, and all that's left of me is this soul, sealed inside the heavenly demon monument. Emperor Xian looked at Changqing with gratitude. I thought I'd never leave this place. Thank you. Chapter 58. You are listening at novelfull.audio. She was trapped inside the heavenly demon monument, and there was only one way out. Someone had to reach the final level and pass the monument's test, but Emperor Xian figured that was a pipe dream. The secret realm was stuck out in the boonies, and the big-shot geniuses and powerhouses in the spirit domain would never come here. Even if they did, they wouldn't make it through the last level. There just wasn't anyone in the spirit domain capable of that. In exchange, I'll grant you one request. Emperor Xian wasn't just any emperor. Before she died, she was the undisputed top dog of the 10,000 demon sea, a transcendental badass who had ascended to the God Emperor realm. In the God Emperor realm, you were a major player in the entire spirit domain. Back when Emperor Xian was in charge, even some of the spirit domain's biggest names wouldn't mess with the 10,000 demon sea. A request? How about you follow me for 100 years? Emperor Xian looked at Changqing, surprised. You might want to rethink that request, she said softly. What? You think I'm not worth it? Changqing grinned. Emperor Xian shook her head slightly. Changqing's talent was obvious from the fact that he managed to beat the heavenly demon monument. Even though I've escaped the monument's seal, my real body's long gone. All that's left is my soul. It'll take at least a century to rebuild my body. By then, with your potential, you'll be way out of my league. Why would you need my protection? 1 year, tops. I can rebuild your real body in 1 year, Changqing said. The reason Changqing was so interested in Emperor Xian was because he had just used the system to check out her talent. It was off the charts. Even better than Jiang Lianqin. If she hadn't run into that heavenly demon emperor back then, she'd probably be a heavenly venerable by now. If he could have a kid with her, the baby would be. Wow. 1 year. Emperor Xian studied Gu Changqing carefully. If anyone else said that, she wouldn't believe it, but this kid was something else. As a divine emperor from thousands of years ago, she had seen countless geniuses, and she was a super genius herself, but she knew she couldn't have broken through the heavenly demon monument like he did. Okay, you've got a deal. Gu Changqing had done her a solid. 100 years following him was nothing for a divine emperor with her lifespan. It was nothing compared to the trial of the heavenly demon monument that Gu Changqing had passed. As for Xian Huang, she was stuck in the heavenly demon monument for now. Even though the seal was broken, Xian Huang's soul was too weak to leave the monument, much less the Xian Huang's secret realm. Xian Huang told him that if she ever found the elixir to help her reshape her body, she would go to the entrance of the Xian Huang's secret realm. Even though she wasn't the owner of the secret realm, she could still open a small crack to let Gu Changqing in. Gu Changqing had asked Xian Huang to follow him, but it was obvious that he had ulterior motives. With talent like that, it would be a waste not to have a baby with her. Of course, he couldn't rush things. She was the famous Xian Huang. After all, it was just unbelievable how much had gone down back then. Xian Huang's mysterious disappearance and the destruction of Xiantian Palace were tied to the extraterritorial demon. Plus, Xian Huang hadn't died, but had been sealed in this secret realm, trapped in this demon monument. When Gu Changqing opened his eyes, the scene was a little intense. Countless eyes were glued to the demon monument. Gu Changqing looked to, first place, Gu Yunxi, score 96, Han-Qin Empire, second place, Jiang Lianqin, score 71, Han-Qin Empire, third place, Gu Qingchen, score 60. Han-Qin Empire.so, the two little ones had finished the trial and made it onto the Heavenly Demon Monument list. One of the siblings had reached the 96th level, the other made it to the 60th level. It made sense that they weren't as good as Gu Yunxi and Jiang Lianqin. That mother-daughter duo was in a league of their own, one with a gold 9th grade divine body, the other with a gold 1st grade holy bone. It wasn't that Gu Qingchen wasn't good, just that his sister and mother were superhuman. Gu Yunxi. Score 96. This heavenly demon monument must be busted. Some people would rather believe the monument was broken than believe someone could reach almost 100 levels. Remember, Su Ziyu, a genius on the spirit list, had only reached 49 levels. Gu Yunxi, Gu Qingchen, those two must be from the same camp. Gu family. Never heard of such a powerful family. Could they be some hidden family? And it's the Han-Qin Empire. Since when did the Han-Qin Empire become so powerful? Of the empires bordering the Wanyan-Nanhai, the Han-Qin Empire was either the weakest or close to it. Now, three monsters suddenly appeared, all from the Han-Qin Empire. The cultivators from the other empires couldn't wrap their heads around it. It was probably for the best that these people didn't know that Gu Yunxi and Gu Qingchen were barely 3 years old. If they knew that, it would be even harder to swallow, right? Daddy, Daddy. I'm awesome. Gu Yunxi threw her head back proudly and ran to Gu Changqing to get some props. Gu Changqing ruffled Gu Yunxi's hair and praised with a smile, "You're definitely my daughter, Gu Changqing. Good job." Hearing this, Gu Yunxi pouted, looking a little unhappy. "Daddy, are you complimenting me or yourself?" "Of course I'm complimenting you." Gu Changqing glanced at Gu Yunxi's side, at the somewhat silent and crestfallen Gu Qingchen, slowly squatted down and picked him up. Xiaochen did great too. Gu Qingchen was definitely bummed out. He knew he wasn't as talented as his sister or his mother, but he didn't expect the difference to be so massive. "It's okay, Xiaochen, check this out." Gu Changqing waved his hand, and a civet cub appeared on the ground. Looking around nervously, the little guy in his arms was immediately captivated by the cute, furry civet cat. The little guy was so young, his moods changed fast. This was what Gu Changqing had picked up in the secret realm, a civet cub who had lost its parents shortly after birth. Gu Changqing had found it when he passed by a dense forest. He hadn't wanted to take it with him, but it kept following him. Thinking that Xier and Chinner would love this furry little animal, he brought it along. Wow! A cute little civet cat. Gu Yunxi's eyes lit up too, and she and Gu Qingchen started playing with the civet cub. "Let's get out of here." Gu Changqing left the underground palace with Gu Yinshi, Gu Qing'er, and the others. As for the rewards, they would automatically go into their respective storage rings and bags after the Heavenly Demon Monument trial, so there was no need to hang around. As Gu Changqing turned to leave, something else happened on the Heavenly Demon Monument, including Gu Yinshi, who was ranked second. Everyone's ranking automatically dropped one spot. A new name appeared on the Heavenly Demon Monument list. In the first place, Gu Changqing, score 290, Han Qin Empire. The entire secret realm instantly erupted in chaos. Chapter 59. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Somewhere in the secret realm's underground palace, Jiang Lianxin frowned at the Heavenly Demon Monument's rankings, clearly annoyed. Gu Yinshi, Gu Qingchen, those little rascals. Seeing their names on the list confirmed her suspicion. Those two had snuck off to the Xianhuang secret realm without telling her. But, they're with their husbands now, so I shouldn't worry too much. The fact that all three names appeared around the same time suggested they were together. Looking at Gu Changqing's name at the very top, her eyes softened with tenderness. Such an incredible man, and he's her husband. She felt increasingly lucky to have married into the Gu family, and especially lucky to have married him. Come to think of it, she really owed her good friend, Jiang Baiwei, a thank you. The moment Gu Changqing's name flashed, the underground palace buzzed with disbelief. Level 290. Are we sure there isn't an extra zero? That what they didn't realize was that Gu Changqing reached level 290 because that was the monument's highest level, not because he couldn't go any further. Gu again. What's the deal with this Gu family? Right now, 3 of the top 5 spots belong to the Gu family, Gu Changqing in first, Gu Yinshi in second, and Gu Qingchen in fourth. Of course, nobody knew that she, in third place, was also part of the Gu family. 4 of the top 5 were connected to the Gu family, leaving only Su Ziyu as an outsider. In underground palace number 37, Jiang Baiwei stared at the list, stunned. Gu Changqing. A long-dormant memory resurfaced. Wasn't the young master of the Gu family in Jiang Linqing named Gu Changqing? The good-for-nothing, the one she considered less talented than any average Jiang family member, the young master of the Gu family, was now at the very top, surpassing even the spiritual genius Su Ziyu, a good-for-nothing. If Gu Changqing was a good-for-nothing, what did that make her? Jiang Baiwei's emotions were a tangled mess. When Gu Changqing's name appeared, a glimmer of hope flickered in her mind. Jiang Lianxin on the list was her sister, and Gu Changqing was her brother-in-law. What happened to the Gu family in the past 2 years? She decided she needed to visit the Gu family in Jianglin as soon as she got out. With the Heavenly Demon Monument trial over, the rewards were distributed based on the final rankings. Xianshui's spiritual liquid and Jinsha were among the prizes. The 2 kids immediately presented their rewards to their father. They were his kids, after all, and Gu Changqing wasn't about to refuse. He especially appreciated the Jinsha, which would be incredibly useful. But even with the materials, it'll be tough to refine. A good refiner is hard to find. Finding a 4th-level refiner was tough enough, let alone a 5th-level Emperor-level refiner. There probably weren't many of those in the entire spirit realm. After this secret realm trip, he'd have to head to the spirit realm center. The Han and Qin empires, even the Sea of 10,000 monsters, were too remote. With the Heavenly Demon Monument trial concluded, the Xianhuang secret realm adventure was coming to an end. 3 days later, a powerful suction force transported Gu Changqing and the others out of the Xianhuang secret realm. The moment he emerged, Gu Changqing sensed the presence of Jiang Lianxin, his father, and others. Dad. Exener. Gu Changqing, along with the 2 kids, Gu Qing'er, and the others, instantly appeared before Jiang Lianxin and Gu Yuan. Mom. The 2 kids, looking like they'd been caught doing something wrong, hid behind Gu Changqing, glancing at Jiang Lianxin with a hint of fear. Gu Yuan couldn't help but chuckle at the scene. He wanted to scold them, but seeing their expressions, Jiang Lianxin's heart softened. Oh, you 2 little troublemakers. Let me see if you're hurt. Shaking her head, Jiang Lianxin knelt down and carefully checked the kids over. Seeing that they were safe and sound, she felt a wave of relief. Let's go, let's head back to Changqing Pavilion first. Gu Changqing didn't sense any other familiar presences nearby. He wasn't sure if the others from Changqing Pavilion hadn't come out yet, or if they'd already returned. Before going back, Gu Changqing wanted to stop by Changqing Pavilion and see how Mu Zi's situation was being handled. They were just passing through, after all. However, shortly after Gu Changqing and his group left the Xianhuang secret realm and entered an uninhabited sea area, they were suddenly intercepted by 4 strangers. A woman and 3 men. The woman was a half-king, and the 3 men behind her were all kings. One of the old men in black wasn't just any king, he had reached the heavenly king realm. Gu Changqing was surprised. A heavenly king might not be the ultimate powerhouse in the other 3 seas, but they were definitely at the top of the food chain in the South China Sea, the weakest of the 4. The only place you could find a divine king in the entire South China Sea was the Zhenwu sect, considered the region's premier sect. A heavenly king was practically invincible in the South China Sea. Some kind of evil sect. The group radiated an extremely sinister aura, not like upright cultivators at all. Running? Why don't you keep running? The alluring woman leading the group glared coldly at Jiang Lianxin, her eyes filled with intense hatred. Exiner, do you know her? Gu Changqing asked. The woman's eyes were locked on Jiang Lianxin, making it clear this was more than just an acquaintance situation. There was likely some serious bad blood between them. I do. We were competing for treasure in the secret realm. I beat her, seriously injured her, and she ran off, only to find 3 half-kings to chase me for 3 whole days. Jiang Lianxin's eyes were cold as well. After being chased for 3 days straight, Jiang Lianxin was still furious. If it hadn't been for the precious life-saving jade talisman Gu Changqing gave her, she would have been dead a long time ago. While she was chasing me, she kept saying I couldn't escape, and she'd hunt me to the ends of the earth and make me regret crossing her. I guess after leaving the secret realm, she actually found me. And she brought 3 kings with her. Looks like this woman must be somebody. Run. Who said I was going to run? Jiang Lianxin smiled. Honey, help me out, kill her. Did you really think I'd be scared of you after leaving the secret realm? Jiang Lianxin was determined to show her today that in terms of strength, the other woman was no match, and in terms of backing, she had her husband, putting her in an even weaker position. All right. Without another word, Gu Changqing drew his sword and slashed. Chapter 60. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A pure white sword light seemed to rip through space itself. The moment it flashed out, the faces of the 3 king-level masters flanking the alluring woman twisted in alarm. Even the heavenly king among them was shaken. This is bad. The sword light heralded terrifying death. The 3 instantly sensed the danger, but Gu Changqing's sword could vaporize a god king. Sensing the threat was meaningless, the pure white light was too fast. Their minds reacted, but their bodies couldn't keep up. Helpless, they watched the sword light erase them from existence. Space warped and cracked in its wake. The blue sea was carved into a trench miles long. 1 sword, 3 kings extinguished, one of them a heavenly king. Gu Changqing and the others from Changqing Pavilion were speechless. Gu Changqing took it relatively well. But it was the first time the other disciples had seen Gu Changqing in action. The 3 king-level masters, just gone. The Supreme Elder, is that powerful? The sole survivor, the captivating woman, trembled, staring in terror at the indifferent Gu Changqing. The others were just disciples, but Wu Taishang, who was just slain, was a genuine heavenly king. His status and strength in the sect were second only to her grandfather. Regret crashed over her. Why had she been so foolish as to seek revenge on Jiang Lianxin? Senior, I am. Whoosh! Another sword obliterated the enchanting woman before she could even finish her sentence, leaving her no chance to save herself. It doesn't matter who you are. Today, you die. Gu Changqing said coolly, looking at the spot where she had stood. After that brief incident, Gu Changqing and his group resumed their journey back to Changqing Pavilion. Meanwhile, back at Changqing Pavilion, the 3rd elder was recounting his experiences in the secret realm to the pavilion master and the great elder, including the one-sword execution of the palace guard. Both the Great Elder and the Pavilion Master were stunned. The Pavilion Master knew Gu Changqing was strong, but he hadn't grasped the extent of his power, maybe a late-stage Xianwang. Or a peak Xianwang. That was his best guess, but the third elder was claiming Gu Changqing could effortlessly kill even a god king. What level of power was that? Half-step emperor. Maybe even emperor. Half a day later, the group arrived at Changqing Island, but Gu Yuan didn't go directly into Changqing Pavilion with Gu Changqing. Instead, he asked Gu Qing'er to take him to the Gu family on Wangqing Island to meet her father, the head of the Gu family. Since learning that Gu Qing'er was of the Gu family blood, Gu Yuan had practically adopted her as his goddaughter. He grilled her about the Gu family's current situation on Wangqing Island the entire trip. Sensing Gu Changqing's aura on Changqing Island, the Changqing Pavilion Master and the Great Elder hurried to greet him. Arrange a place for me to retreat. I need to seclude myself for a while, Gu Changqing instructed. He had gained a lot from the Xianhuang's secret realm, including the Xianshui's spiritual liquid. Though there was only a single drop, it was a level 5 spiritual liquid. Even emperors would covet it. Then there was the Gonlin pill, a spiritual pill that purified spiritual impurities and refined spiritual power. Not as impressive as the Xianshui spiritual liquid, but still level 5, plus, a wealth of high-level spiritual herbs and medicinal materials that he, Gu Yinshi, and Jiang Lianxin had gathered. Gu Changqing planned to refine them all into pills, and he intended to use this time to increase his strength. His Xianwang stage was perfect. It was time to break through. Gu Changqing divided the Xianshui spiritual liquid into 4 equal portions, one for himself, Jiang Lianxin, Gu Yinshi, and Gu Qingchen. Then, he began his retreat in Changqing Pavilion. Meanwhile, as soon as Jiang Baiwei emerged from the secret realm, she told Jiang Tianwang and the Jiang family master everything she'd experienced at the Heavenly Demon Monument. Their initial reaction was disbelief. Jiang Lianxin, whose spiritual bones had been destroyed, might be curable, but it would require a venerable or a Danzun-level alchemist. Such figures were rare, especially in a place like the Han and Qin Empire. Even if her bones were healed, Jiang Lianxin's talent was only comparable to Jiang Baiwei's. How could she possibly reach the top of the Heavenly Demon Monument and surpass the geniuses on the spiritual list? But Jiang Baiwei's next words gave them pause. Gu Changqing, the young master of the Gu family from the Han Qin Empire, was also on the list. 2 other Gu family members were there as well. The chances of coincidence were slim. After returning, I'll personally visit this Gu family. Then we'll know if it's true, the Jiang family head said slowly. At Dust Heart Pavilion, 3 days later, a terrifying aura descended on Dust Heart Island. Everyone, from the mortals to the Changqing Pavilion disciples, turned their eyes toward the Changqing Pavilion's mountain gate. That terrible aura was emanating from within. Inside the pavilion, Gu Changqing slowly opened his eyes, and his aura instantly receded. Late-stage Xianwang perfection. 1/4 of a drop of Xianshui spiritual liquid had propelled Gu Changqing's cultivation, skipping the late stage and going straight to the peak perfection of the late-stage Xianwang. Just one step away from the Heavenly King realm. Furthermore, he had refined the spiritual sword king weapon he'd acquired in the secret realm. The Zhuxian sword formation finally had a level 4 king weapon level spiritual sword. What level is my strength now? Before the breakthrough and the weapon refinement, Gu Changqing figured he could fight ordinary emperors. Now, having reached the peak of the late-stage Xianwang realm, and coupled with the Zhuxian sword formation bolstered by the king weapon. What was his strength? Exioner, give me a little more time. I will take you to Kanglan Holy Land and avenge you for what happened. Gu Changqing rarely spoke of this in front of Jiang Lianxin. It was the source of her pain, but Gu Changqing had never forgotten it, which was why he had been so focused on improving his strength. He was going to avenge Jiang Lianxin. He would erase Kanglan Holy Land from the world. Kanglan Holy Land, one of the top holy lands in the southern spiritual domain, boasted not only an emperor but allegedly a heavenly king as well. There were 3 levels within the king realm. The emperor realm had 4 levels: Xian Emperor, Heavenly Emperor, Divine Emperor, and Holy Emperor. The gap between each level was even greater than that of the king realm. Gu Changqing didn't know if he could face a heavenly emperor, but against the Queen of Heavenly Kings, defeat was almost certain. Give me a little more time. When I reach the Divine King realm, Kanglan Holy Land will be destroyed. With that in mind, Changqing left his retreat.